All right, welcome back to American Blues Podcast. Let's talk about that bullshit game, Ipswich versus Chelsea. Oh my God, I've lost my head. I was calm after the Everton game, real tough defense. I was even calm after the Fulham game, no time to panic. We were chasing the game, gave up a second goal, no big deal. But this game, oh my God. Just infuriating because you could tell from a mile away DISASI was the weak link in this team. You could tell he always has an error in him. Oh my God. And of course, it led to the second crucial goal while we were chasing the game. Absolutely destroyed this game for us. There was no coming back from that. But oh my God. Let's start, as always, with the starting lineup. Big changes and Cuckoo up front. João Felix starting, finally with Cole Palmer, DISASI, and Jorgensen all starting. You could kind of think of this as like a midweek team playing kind of our second team, but I was kind of agreeable with all the choices except for Cuckoo up front and with DISASI in the back. A couple of reasons. You could tell from the entire game Cuckoo is not a striker. Maresca has said he's not a striker. Everybody knows he's not a striker. He was essentially useless the entire game that he was on. He was near useless. He did not contribute to build up. He could not contribute to attack in any way. He had no good touches. He had no good passes, no good through passes. He wasn't on the end of the ball. And his one chance that a striker needs to be, which is during Cole Palmer's quick free kick where he ended up hitting the bar and the ball fell right to Nkunku. He had no anticipation. He didn't jump on it. And he had the entire goal was open to aim at. Their goalie was on the ground and he hit it right at the goalie. That's not a striker. Jackson would have done better. Guiu would have done better because Guiu pounces on that ball. He is a penalty box hound dog. He will just absolutely hound after that ball. And he would have had more anticipation than Nkunku did. And then, of course, the first half, Liam Delap, you can see why so many teams are interested in him. This guy is an absolute beast, 20 years old, tall, really strong, good technically, ridiculously physical. He gave our defenders a horrendous time, no matter who he was against. DISASI, Tosin, especially Tosin. My God, the amount of times that he absolutely bodied Tosin was embarrassing. And then even Kowa had a tough time against them. This is why we're missing a really physical defender like Fofana and maybe even like Badiashile, although he's not the strongest, even though he is really, really tall and big. He's not like Fofana. But yeah, man, this guy was just all over our defense, pouncing on them, not giving them a second to breathe. He was always an outlet. Every time he got the ball and he drove, nobody could take him down. And he was just peppering our goal with shots from the right, from the left. If he just had a little bit better finishing, and credit to Jorgensen, despite giving up that penalty, he did a really good job keeping out all of those just absolute power shots from Delap from all sorts of angles. So yeah, great player. If he can keep that up, you can understand he's not staying at Ipswich past the summer. There's no way that's going to happen. There are going to be multiple teams looking for a striker of that profile. Us being, I would say, one of the top. Like, we need that box presence. We need that player to be able to hold up to the ball no matter what the defender is like. He is able to keep that ball, get a foul, or break on them, something. And then first half, we created chance after chance after chance after giving up that early goal. Did I think that first one was a penalty? It's so soft. It's so soft. Jorgensen came out, didn't touch him with his hand. Delap was essentially past him, and his trailing leg maybe caught him a tiny bit when the ball was already gone, when essentially the Delap was kind of past the keeper already, and then he gets brushed by the trailing leg. Once they called the penalty, you knew VAR was never going to overturn that. If there's even a whisker of a touch, VAR cannot overturn something like that. So it is what it is. Delap took his penalty well, even though Jorgensen dove the right way. It was just way too powerful. There was no chance he was stopping that one. But again, the penalty was given away early. We had plenty of game to come back, and we created chance after chance after chance. I thought Palmer was playing really well in the first half. And I'm sorry, I've seen a lot of people praise João Felix. I don't think he had that great of a game. João Felix is really good up until the box where he either makes poor decisions, bad shots, just is not very clinical. And I don't even think he was that good in build-up today. There was multiple times in the first half where he could not hold on to the ball. He would give it away in a really dangerous position and lead to a really fast break. The one time that he did get a chance at goal that was clear, he was offside. It was a great cross by Palmer. If Felix could just stay onside, that would have been a great goal, but he couldn't. And then he had an open header where I think he just headed it right over the bar or right at the keeper. But yeah, just multiple chances that he didn't really do much on. And then Cucurella blasting a shot wide of the post. Yeah, even Palmer hitting the post in the first half, just unlucky. But yeah, we were giving away chance after chance after chance. And this is one of those games where if you don't take your chances and you leave it open for that second goal, then we just absolutely destroy the game for ourselves. Now, halftime. I was thinking, and Cuckoo needs to come off. He hasn't done a single thing. And DISASI must come off with the pace of Delap, with the pace of Hutchinson on the break. DISASI was going to make a mistake sooner or later. And lo and behold, of course, no changes were made. DISASI, second half, had the ball in our own half, running back, absolutely no pressure on him whatsoever. And he passes the ball directly into Delap. And you know what? I can live with an error like that. I can live with bad passing. What I cannot live with is what happened after, which is, he holds his hands up in his head. He tries to get back. And then when Delap passes it to Hutchinson, DISASI puts in just the weakest attempt at blocking the shot. There was no pressure on the player. He just barely stuck out a foot. And I'm sorry, that's unforgivable to me. You can make mistakes, but if you make a mistake, I expect you to bust your ass getting back into defense and to stop that shot with your body, dive at it, get on the floor, pressure him, do something apart from just dangle a leg in the hopes that it might do something. And that's exactly what he did. And immediately after, I was like, get him off the field. I genuinely do not think DISASI should be playing in another Premier League game for us, or really any serious game. You can play in the Conference League, the League Cup, which we're already out of. I don't even want you on the FA Cup team, but I certainly never want to see you on the Premier League team. It is too much liability. He has caused errors after errors after errors of just him with his poor passing. And I'm sorry, the marginal benefit that we get from him on set pieces is just not enough. He scored, 2 goals for us in 2 years? That is not enough to make up for the multiple errors he's made, the multiple chances he's given away to opposition teams, and the multiple goals that are direct results of his errors. I'm sorry, DISASI, you've got to go. You do not belong on this team. We do not play a style that suits you. I'm not saying you're a bad player, but you just do not belong on this team. This style is not your style. You are not a good passer. You cannot run. Yeah, and yeah, you can't do the few things that we expect of you in right back. So, sorry. Yeah, this team is not for you. I would say if we cannot let him go in the summer on the loan or something, just cut the contract. Just pay him off and be done with it, because we just cannot keep a player like that around who just does not fit the system in any way and is clearly a detriment to the team. And then second half, of course, João Felix came off, Sancho came on, and eventually Pedro Neto replaced Madueke. Didn't make that much of a difference, not all that much. I thought our wing play today was really lacking. First half, it was nice seeing a little bit of combination between João Felix and Palmer. And so Palmer couldn't get marked out of the game, but still losing that left wing presence is huge. That means essentially we have no build up on that left side. Cucurella was playing the touchline winger, but he's not a winger. He's not going to take players on one-on-one, and several of his crosses just kind of went nowhere. And then again, on the right side, I thought Madueke actually had a pretty good game. He was tracking back really well. He did look dangerous on 1v1s. He had one cross to João Felix, who should have scored because he was open in the box with the header, but it was just a really weak header. And overall, I did think Madueke kind of slowly faded out as the game went on, but certainly I don't think he was anywhere near our worst player, and I don't think he should lose his starting place, just because I do think he's a lot more of a 1v1 threat than Neto. He might not be as good of a crosser as Neto, but you could see, like, once Neto came out, I don't think he put in a single good cross the second half anyways. And he tends to not really want to take people on 1-1 despite his pace. But yeah, just frustrating. And then last thing is Jackson did come on for Nkuku. We had a little bit better, more of like a striker's presence. He had one decent run where he was just offside and unfortunately couldn't even make the shot. And then what I really liked was he had one where he took the ball out of the air with his shoulder and took a really nice hit. Unfortunate that went over the bar, but that's kind of what I want to see more from Jackson, is to carry the team a little bit more, take the onus on himself to act like a striker, get the ball, take shots when necessary. But yeah, I think it was a huge mistake today playing Nkuku up front. It was a tremendous mistake relying on DISASI and right back. We have multiple players that could be in these two positions. We have Mark Yu, who's been playing really well in Conference League. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's raw. But I do think the way he's been playing, the tenacity that he has, he deserves a start, especially in front of Nkuku, who really hasn't shown all that much in quite a few games now, especially as that 9, where everybody knows he's not a 9. And then in that right back position, my God, we have Malagusto, and I don't even think he's had that great of a year this year. He doesn't really suit the inverted role all that well because he's just not a very good passer. With his left foot, he doesn't really contribute to build up play as well as Maresca would like. And then we have Josh Achampong, who is our, Real Madrid wanted this kid. There must be something to that. And you could tell from his few games, like, we have a player there. He's incredibly tall, very athletic, comfortable on the ball. I don't understand why he didn't start today in front of DISASI, or why he didn't even come on instead of DISASI, especially at halftime when you knew DISASI was just one mistake away from costing the team. So, Maresca has built up a lot of credit with the team. He's done incredibly well. We are still in a good position, although we're down to 4th, which is infuriating, but we're not that far from 2nd and not that far from 3rd. It's just a few points swing. But again, we're kind of on a bad stretch right now. It is on Maresca to stop it. And that has to start with him making better decisions in lineup and better decisions during the game. If even I can tell that Nkuku needed to come off, and especially DISASI needed to come off, my God, man, you're getting paid way more than me, and you're the manager. You have to recognize when things are not working and change them before we put ourselves in a position where we can't come back from. As close as we are to 2nd and 3rd, we are just as close to 4th and dropping on a top 4. And that would be a disaster. Like, we do not want to end up in another top 4 chase. We should be comfortable in the top 4, but we have to change the form as soon as possible. So we have plenty of games to do that in January. And I promise you, City will not be in the dumps all season long. They will find their way back. City always do. So we need to be in a better position and not be afraid of them catching up to us. So, yeah, overall, man, this game was incredibly frustrating. I have absolutely lost my head. I am pissed off watching this game today. Just schoolboy errors, just embarrassing. This is kind of like the shit that we would see last year and the year before. And I've had enough of it. We have better players in these positions. Play them so crap like this doesn't happen again. Peace.